Hey everyone, my name is Justin Sawyer, and today I'd like to talk to you about a book called Data and Goliath by Mr. Bruce Schneier. This book is essentially a warning against the overwhelming prevalence of data collection in our society and the intrusion and the invasion of privacy that has come along with that. Really, the book hammers home that anytime you are online, on any device, on any site, you are being tracked and data is being collected on you. Really, what he's trying to do in this book is warn us about this setup and about potential issues that could arise and the problems that could come from this type of society. If you think about it, just about anyone with enough time, money, or incentive, regardless of their intentions, whether it be good or bad, they could go and find out your data. They could go find it from numerous sources and use it for you or against you. Mr. Schneier's statements about the absurdity of the amounts of data that are collected in our society are spot on. A 2019 Forbes article states that as a worldwide online society, we create about 2.5 quintillion bytes of data each and every day. And you can bet that governments and companies are collecting as much of that as they possibly can, and that slowly and surely they are learning how to use that. Another big point that Mr. Schneier hits on is that as a whole, our society has been really bad about protecting the data and guarding the data that's been collected on us. We regularly hear of company after company that experiences a data breach that affects millions and sometimes even billions of customers, and they have their personal information stolen. And back in 2014, Yahoo had a data breach that affected all 3 billion of its user accounts and the personal information collected within them. I was a Yahoo user at the time, so that includes me. Fortunately, nothing really negative happened to me, but still a little scary that this company that had so much information about me didn't really try that hard to protect it, and ultimately every single one of their customers got affected. While I generally agree with Mr. Schneier's statements on the hazards of this over-the-top surveillance system and the prevalence of it, I do feel that he comes across a little more doomsday than I typically would. I like to think that our governments are at least trying to work in our best interest. I'm not crazy about them being able to track my online activity or track my location through my phone, but I'm also not that worried. I'm not trying to circumvent or break the law. I'm sure if I lived in a society or if my government changed to become a little more strong-handed against any dissent, I might be changing my tune on that. Mr. Schneier then moves on to talk about things we can do to fix and maybe address this issue and keep it from becoming a bigger problem. Starting on the government side of things, he makes a couple arguments on what we can do. One of them is to add some oversight to these agencies, preferably congressional. That way voters have at least a say in the process. We can pick the leaders that sit on these oversight committees and make sure that the agencies are doing what they say they're doing with our data. I think that the NSA shouldn't necessarily have a blank check authority to do whatever they want and conduct whatever surveillance they want. I do think that they should have to prove to us why specific surveillance capability is needed. Mr. Schneier also has some ideas on the corporate side of things and has some suggestions on ways we can hold companies more accountable so that this data collection and privacy issue doesn't become bigger. One of his big points is that we should be able as individuals to request from a company what information they have on us and even be able to request that they remove it and delete it if we desire. I like this because we should be able to know how our data is being used, or at least have the opportunity to know if we want to. Really, what we can't do is just sit back and hope that the issue will take care of itself. We need to use our voice and our votes to bring about change and to ask for more accountability of the entire data collection system. So overall, I think this is a really great read. It really peels back the curtain on the nature of data collection in our society today and on the potential issues that could arise. And while we still have a lot of work to do to solve some of those issues, the first step is always awareness. And I think this book is a really great tool for bringing about awareness of the state of things today. That's all I have for this one. Thank you for listening.